Hey all, welcome back. Today I'm sharing a diabetic friendly bread recipe this made using Jowar. In English it's called as Sorghum. A beautiful millet this packed with plenty of vital nutrients which really helps in slowing the digestion. If it is slowed, then the sugar level enters the bloodstream in a slow way, thus helps the blood sugar level spike. Hence it is a diabetic friendly bread this. Before we go in detail, like I always say, don't forget to subscribe after watching, leave a like, find it useful, share. Okay, let's get started. Let's proof the yeast. If you're using instant, directly you can use them. I'm using active dry, so one tablespoon of brown sugar I'm adding, and 1 tablespoon of yeast. Mixed it in lukewarm and kept it aside for 10 minutes. 1 whole cup of jowar flour, sorghum, and 1 cup of whole wheat. In fact, 2.5 cup of whole flour. Added 1.5 cup of sorghum and 1 cup of wheat flour. So total 2.5 cups of flour I've used for 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast and some salt. That's it. No milk powder, nothing. Even for the sugar to activate my yeast, I've used brown sugar, which is comparatively less in calorie compared to the white sugar. Save the flour well along with the salt, and then by now this active dry yeast must have proved. Yes, it is. It bloomed very well. Make a little small little hole in the middle and slowly add in your yeast and combine all well initially, the flour with the yeast and the salt. You can add milk powder to get a good texture. Since I'm making it for diabetic people, the more things that we reduced, which will increase the calorie, which will make it a good bread for them. End of the day, we want more fiber. The fiber helps in slowing the digestion process, like I said. Hence, it helps in the sugar in the food to enter into the bloodstream slowly. Once you mixed the flour, transfer it into a separate workspace, and here you need it. I'm using olive oil here instead butter, which again makes it healthy, which is loaded with omega fatty acids and many other vital nutrients in this olive oil. So I use that. You can use butter if it is not a problem for you. Needed for 10 to 15 minutes. In fact, it took 18 minutes for me, as it is millet. It took a little bit more time. When you stretch it, you should get a transparent look like this, and it should not fall apart. It should be stretchy. That's the flow test that we do to know that the dough is ready for baking. Now it's done. Apply a little olive oil on top and tuck in and make it into a bun kind of a shape. Collect the dough and just take it back and fold like this, the way I'm doing. So you get a smooth and soft surface on top, and grease the vessel that you're going to keep this with some olive oil, and add some little olive oil on top and just leave it for proofing. Proofing here, important thing is we should not look at the clock. We should only check if has the volume of the dough is doubled. So don't rely on the clock, rather keep checking if it is double. Even if in 30 minutes, just take it out, because depending on the weather conditions, the proofing happens. So don't have a timer to check this, that it should be 1 hour or 2 hours as per the recipe it calls for. Better you keep checking, and then cover it with a cling wrap, and I'm leaving it for proof. It took exactly 40 minutes. The same dough, it took 2 hours during rainy season. So like I said, it depends on the weather conditions, the proofing times. So totally depends on that. Here you can see it's doubled nicely. Now remove the cling wrap punch it to release the air bubbles, and just knead for hardly 2 minutes, but a gentle knead, not harsh. And then we're going to shape it. By then, keep your baking tray ready with nicely greased with some olive oil. I keep always in my baking tray some foil, because these days the baking tray comes with some coating. I don't want that to go into my bread, so I prefer to keep some foil on top. Of course, I grease my foil with some oil, olive oil or butter. Here I'm using only olive oil. Now take this gently kneaded dough to another plate, and make it into a rectangle shape. Depending upon your tin size, you can just stretch it and fold it, seal it like this way, all sides. Make it a little tighter folding, so that you will not find more air holes inside the bread. Same way, not too much tight also, just ensure it is firm. Once it is folded, keep it inside the baking tray and leave it for the second proof by covering it using some damp wet cloth or cling wrap. Like I said, I have used some foil here to bake my breads. Even I use this for my cake. If I'm using a coated tin like this, if it is a normal aluminium, I don't have an issue using it directly, but these kind of a coatings, I'm not really sure. So add some sesame on top, or flax seeds. You can add some rolled oats to make it more multi grainy, this bread. Give it a shape. It's all totally up to you. Yeah, and leave it for 30 to 45 minutes. It will nicely proof, and preheat the oven at 200 degree for 10 minutes and bake it for, my oven takes 40 minutes, some oven take 30 minutes. So just know your oven first before you get into baking. It took 40 minutes for me at 200 with both the rods on, upper and lower. Of course, do not forget to do a milk brush. Once the second proofing is done, add some milk on top, brush it nicely. You want to get a more brown color, add a little bit of sugar on top, but since it is diabetic friendly, I'm not adding all that extra sugar to give more extra calories. Yes, beautiful, healthy Jowar bread. Here you go. A high fiber, super soft, very healthy, chemical free, no preservatives, no extra vital gluten, no extra preservatives to keep it. Hope you try. Thank you so much for tuning into Lathus Kitchen.